Welcome to my tutorial. Before applying foundation, you should always use a face primer. Face primers will provide a smooth, velvety surface, so your foundation will go on evenly and stay in place for hours rather than disappear. I'm using a tinted primer on my model, Nancy, to give her an extra boost to even out the discoloration and redness in her skin. Always begin your foundation application from the center of your face and blend out towards the hairline, but stopping well short of it, or you will be stuck with makeup in your hairline, which looks really bad. You can always go back and pat a little more on in areas that need more coverage. A good foundation will always be warm in tone, showing more of a yellow base rather than pink or ash tones. Yellow-based foundations look natural and they'll neutralize redness. But pink-based foundations, on the other hand, will look fake or like a mask. There are two really big misconceptions about concealer. The first is that you should apply your concealer before foundation. Concealer should always be gently pressed and patted into place after and not erased and disturbed by applying foundation. Number two, to use stick concealers to cover under eye circles. This is really wrong because only light and creamy concealers should be used under the eye area, but I'll get to that later. Since Nancy is really light in skin tone, I've chosen a very natural, very neutral shade. This shade's going to just mimic a bit of a sun-kissed look for her. You want to know a good way to know where to apply your blush? Just look into a mirror, smile, and look at where your cheeks naturally plump up. That's the apple of your cheeks and is exactly where you want it to go. Just sweep a little upwards towards your temple and give your forehead just a light sweep of color too. Here you can see I'm curling her lashes, and I think this is a really important step. This is the only way to achieve the look of long lashes. Eye primer is a really important step if you are planning on applying eyeshadow or eyeliner. Without it, your shadows and liners will quickly land in a greasy, smudged up line in the middle of your eyelid. With it, your shadows and liners will stay in place all day. Just apply enough to gently cover your whole eyelid from lash line to brow line. I like to use a brush to apply and then blend it with my fingers. This eyeshadow tutorial includes 3 shadows. The first is a base shadow, whose purpose is to prepare the eyelid for the deeper tone shadows that come next. It will create a powdery, velvety surface that will allow your deeper colors to glide on smoothly and spread evenly so as to avoid the blotchy finish you would get if you skip this step. And always use a very light shade with a matte finish. This step is designed to give your eye depth and definition. I'm using a matte shade called Chocolate, and I'm applying it starting in the crease and blending to the center of the crease line and then slightly downward towards the inner part of the eye. Because I did apply base shadow, this darker shade is blending really nicely. Fill in the outer portion of the eyelid, blend in the edges as much as possible, and then apply along the lash line. Here I'm adding a really nice peach tone to the center of her eyelid, which goes perfectly with this chocolate tone, and it will also make Nancy's blue eyes pop. The eyeliner I'm using here is a gel eyeliner, and the gel formula allows it to glide on very easily. I'm using a dark brown shade rather than black because black can really be harsh on blondes with fair skin. A great way to successfully apply pencil liners is with short strokes using a back and forth motion. Always start in the outer corner, working inwards to create a wider line on the outer third of the eye, narrowing to a very thin line on the inside corners. If your eyeliner comes out pretty uneven, go ahead and use an angled brush and run it along the line just to even it out. And notice I'm not using liner on the lower lashes, because unless you are really young, doing so will just succeed in pulling your eyes down, resulting in a tired, aged look. I love mascara, and this is one product that I only use in black. Colorful mascaras should be left to the teenagers. Holding your brush perfectly horizontal, brush straight up. Do several coats, letting each coat dry in between. Do one coat on the top side of the upper lashes as well. On the lowers, go ahead and use the tip of the wand in a vertical position. This will slightly clump the lowers for a really pretty look. This is a really cool invention. Take It Off is basically makeup remover in a tube with a small wand head to get into tight spots like smudged mascara under lower lashes. Just dab gently with the Kleenex to dry, and it is also excellent for making eyebrow makeup crisp and clean. I'm using the Signature Eyebrow Kit on Nancy today, which is a brush and powder type of application process. There are numerous products available to fill and define brows, but the brush and powder method is a good choice for her already full brows. Just dip into the brow powder using the tapered angle brush. Start in the lower inside corner of the brow along the bottom edge and draw a fine line of powder up towards the arch. Then go back and push that powder up into the brow, filling this area, which is generally the most sparse area in most eyebrows. Now dip back into the powder and start defining the top line of your brow, going up and over the arch, and then filling and lengthening the tail. And here's an important note: always tap off any excess powder after dipping into the brow powder. This will avoid it falling back onto your cheek and making a mess on your face. Repeat this process on the other brow, filling in any sparse areas and, most importantly, defining the arch and tail. It's also important to not fill in the area closest to the bridge of the nose too heavily to avoid your brows looking too harsh or looking like they're glued on. Use a spoolie brush provided in your kit to gently brush and blend, particularly in the front half of the brow. Finish with clear brow set for a polished look and to keep your brows in place all day. I know from my years of experience in shaping brows that it can be a bit overwhelming for you to see your brows well defined and filled in with brow makeup for the first time. It usually only takes a very short while before you fall in love with your eyebrows and realize that they have just taken 10 years off your age. So remember what I said earlier about concealers? That stick concealers are designed and are perfect for covering pimples and spots, but not for under the eyes. This is a common mistake made by many. Heavy concealers will just land in every line, every crevice and wrinkle around your eye, highlighting and calling out for a lot of unwanted attention. I'm using a very light and creamy concealer in a shade that will neutralize any redness or dark circles. As well, it will lighten and brighten the area above her cheekbones for a really fresh and youthful look. Just brush under the under eye area and blend gently and pat into place, don't rub. And add a touch to the inside of the bridge of your nose in that little area that gets kind of gray and dark, and it'll eliminate that. Lip primer is a great answer for those of us with those annoying little lines around the mouth into which lipsticks and glosses creep into and feather away. It also really helps to keep lipsticks to last a long time. You can apply straight from the tube or blend with your fingers. Just be sure that you apply to the edges of your lip line, making sure to press the product into all those little lines. This lip liner can actually stay on for hours. It is waterproof, easy to apply, and featherproof as well. Just make sure you keep your lip pencil always sharpened for a really crisp application. And go ahead and experiment with your lip liners and your lip colors. Mix them up, mix and match to create new looks. Just remember to always wear cool tones together and warm tones together. In other words, don't wear a berry colored lip liner with a brown tone lipstick. And lip liners are not just for the edges. Wear them all over and put some clear gloss on top. Lip glosses are just about the best choice for a lip formula these days. I almost always choose lip gloss over lipsticks. There are so many shades to choose from, and shine and sparkle on the lips look beautiful on anyone. They are amazingly easy to apply and are so forgiving you can usually apply without a mirror. If you only use lipsticks, and especially if you always wear the same old shade, rethink this old habit. Lip gloss is ageless. Oh, and these luxury lip glosses, they smell like cinnamon. They're really yummy.